Hello, students! In this explainer, we're going to do a final, very focused revision of the Minerals and Energy Resources chapter. Let's get you fully prepared for your board exams. First things first, let's understand why this chapter is so important. You can easily expect 5 to 7 marks from this section alone, and that includes some very important map work, so let's make sure we pay close attention.
To make our revision really effective, we'll follow this simple structure. First, we'll quickly go over what minerals are. Then, we'll see where they are found in India. After that, we'll explore energy resources. And finally, we'll tackle the most crucial topic of conservation, along with some final tips for your exam.
Okay, let's dive right into our first part. Here, we'll focus on the basic concepts of minerals. Getting these right will build a really strong foundation for everything else in the chapter.
Now, if you get a 1-mark question asking what is a mineral, this is the perfect definition you must write. Please remember these keywords: homogeneous, naturally occurring, and definable internal structure. These are the words that will get you full marks.
Look at how clearly this slide shows the classification. Minerals are broken down into metallic, non-metallic, and energy minerals. For your exam, it's a very good idea to remember at least 1 or 2 examples for each category. Like iron ore for ferrous, copper for non-ferrous, mica for non-metallic, and of course coal for energy minerals. Remember these different ways minerals are found, as this could easily be a short answer question. Just make sure you can connect one example with each type. For instance, copper is found in veins and lodes, coal in beds or layers, bauxite as a residual mass, and precious metals like gold in alluvial deposits.
Right, let's move on to our next section. Now we'll see where these minerals are actually located in India. This is a very important part of the chapter, especially for your map work.
Now, here is a golden tip for you. When you're asked to describe the distribution of minerals in India, please don't just start listing random states. Always start your answer by mentioning that the peninsular rocks are the main storehouse. This shows the examiner that you have a real conceptual understanding.
Let's just take a moment to look at this map. Now, instead of trying to memorize every single location, which can be overwhelming, the smart way to study is to focus on the major mineral belts. This is exactly how you should structure your long answers, by describing the belts.
Please pay close attention to the difference between magnetite and hematite. This is a very common point of confusion for many students. Just remember, magnetite is the finest quality. It has a very high iron content, over 70%. Hematite, on the other hand, is the most important industrial ore, but its iron content is a little lower, around 50 to 60%. For your long answer questions, you must be able to name at least 2 or 3 of these major iron ore belts, and also mention the states that they cover. For example, the Odisha-Jharkhand belt. It's very simple to remember the states from the name itself. As this slide clearly shows us, Madhya Pradesh is the largest producer of manganese in India. So why is manganese so important? You must remember this key fact. It is absolutely essential for manufacturing steel.
Okay, now for the non-ferrous minerals. For copper and bauxite, just remember one main use and one important mining area for each. So, for copper, it's used in electrical cables, and a key location is the Khetri mines in Rajasthan. And for bauxite, it's the ore of aluminum, and it's found in the Amarkantak Plateau. Simple. This slide really shows how Odisha just dominates bauxite production in our country. It accounts for about 65% of the total share. That is a very important fact to remember.
All right, and to quickly wrap up this section, let's recall 2 important non-metallic minerals. We have mica, which is indispensable for electrical industries because of its amazing insulating properties. And then we have limestone, which is the basic raw material for the entire cement industry. Just remembering their main use is enough.
Very good. Now we will smoothly transition to the second half of our chapter, energy resources. This is another area from where you can expect a lot of questions.
Understanding this distinction is absolutely fundamental. A very common question is to compare conventional and non-conventional sources of energy. Just remember it this way. Conventional sources like coal are generally non-renewable and polluting, while non-conventional sources like solar are renewable and much more eco-friendly. So let's quickly revise the key conventional sources. Remember that coal is the most abundant fossil fuel we have in India. You should also know the 4 types of coal in order of their quality from best to worst. That's anthracite, bituminous, lignite, and peat. And for petroleum, just remember that Mumbai High is the most important region.
Okay, take a moment and have a good look at this map. For your map work, you absolutely must be able to locate the major coal fields, like Jharia and Bokaro in Jharkhand, and of course the major oil fields, like Mumbai High Offshore and Digboy in Assam.
Now, for non-conventional sources, you just need to know one key feature or an important location for each type. That's it. For solar, just remember that India is a tropical country with enormous potential. For wind energy, remember the famous Nagarcoil to Madurai wind farm cluster. That is more than sufficient. All right, we are now at what I believe is the most important part from an exam perspective, the conservation of our resources. Examiners love to ask questions from this topic.
Your answer to this very important question needs to be well structured. It is not enough to simply write, "We should save them." You need to use the right keywords to get those high marks.
Please use these points as headings or key points in your answer. First, explain that minerals are finite and non-renewable. Second, mention that they take millions of years to form. Third, and this is the most important phrase the examiners are looking for, emphasize the need for a sustainable path of development. And finally, you can suggest some simple methods like recycling metals and shifting to renewable energy sources.
And with that, we have come to the end of our revision. Remember to practice your map work one last time. You have revised well. Please go into your examination hall feeling calm and confident. You are prepared. All the very best.